From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
This is only the employment agreement that's on the agenda tonight is only me. I'm the council's one employee.
A council divided. Why the approved raise for the Billings City Administrator came down to a single vote.
Thinking, what do you do if a grizzly bear attacks you? You play dead. So I figured I better just play dead.
Trampled alive. A Billings woman's harrowing story of survival at the horns of her own bison herd. Plus,
cancer is so expensive and it takes a lot. So
celebrities for a cause. Which stars are aligning in Cody, Wyoming to help fight cancer? Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Wednesday, May 28th. I'm Charlie Klepps here with Miller Robson.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to the hump. We do have some clouds in this forecast today. Only a very slight chance we're going to see any rain. We do have some rain out there right now. We are under the influence of what's called cyclonic floats. It's flowing around an area of low pressure that's kind of parked over the Dakotas right now. So some wraparound moisture. This will kind of peter off as the morning goes on, and then we could see some more showers fire back up here, especially in central Montana, here in Billings and areas to our south. Cody, especially Sheridan, maybe even a thunderstorm as we go along this afternoon. Right now we've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Here in Billings, it's another mild start this morning, 57 right now at the airport, humidity at 83%, so the moisture level's gone down just a bit. Winds out of the west at about 7 miles an hour. Take a look at that day planner. By the time we get to lunchtime, into the low 70s, or high today getting up to about 76. We'll hit that maybe around the drive at 5. We'll see maybe full-on sunshine at times, maybe some clouds mixing in to blot out the sun, but only a slight chance of showers for us in Billings today and tomorrow. Saturday and mostly Sunday's looking fantastic. And then we get ready for what could be a stronger system heading in by the end of the weekend into the first part of next week to give us a better chance of rain and some cooler temperatures after some areas possibly hit 90 on Sunday. But who? We'll let you know coming up.
90.
Yeah, there's a chance. Briefly,
it's like
there's a chance.
June is here. We're here.
Crazy.
We made it.
Summertime.
Awesome. Thanks, Miller. Appreciate it.
You got it.
We're continuing to follow breaking news overnight this morning. Details are limited, but Billings police officers posted that they responded to an overnight report of a shooting. It happened minutes before midnight last night. According to their Facebook post by Lieutenant Kramer, officers say when they arrived to 526 Lori Lane, which is near the area across the road from the Walmart in the Billings Heights, they found a 31-year-old man who had suffered a single gunshot wound. That man was taken to a local hospital. Police say that everyone is accounted for and there is no threat to the public at this time. The investigation is ongoing. This morning, ongoing questions about the COVID vaccine after the Trump administration announced it's rolling back recommendations for healthy pregnant women and children. The unexpected move by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, a significant change in policy and procedure. Jared Hill has the latest.
Hi, everybody.
In a post on social media, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with a major change to COVID vaccine guidelines.
The COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule.
Until now, the government recommended vaccinations for everyone 6 months and older and said it was safe for children, preventing them from getting seriously sick. The FDA commissioner.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
The unexpected announcement in an unconventional manner. Typically, outside experts on the CDC's Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices would vote on changes and guidelines. Then the CDC director would make a final recommendation to the HHS secretary. In this case, the committee has not yet weighed in.
They have experts who meet. It's an open process, very transparent. The public can weigh in. They look at the pros and cons of the various questions.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
The announcement on boosters is raising new questions, including whether health insurance companies will continue to cover COVID vaccinations. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The CDC's advisory panel is set to meet again next month. During a call in April, experts indicated interest in adjusting COVID recommendations to focus on people at high risk of serious illness. This morning, an update on another tragedy on Airport Road. Billings police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash near the North 27th Street roundabout. One woman is dead, another person seriously hurt. It's a story we broke here on Montana This Morning yesterday. Family has confirmed that the victim was a passenger on the bike. The westbound lane reopened last night shortly after 8 p.m. Also, it's the second fatal crash on that stretch of road this month. Just weeks ago, teenage sisters Alicia and Alexia Half were killed in a separate wreck east of that same roundabout. 2 others were also injured in that other crash. This morning, one person is facing charges, and we've learned new information about the murder of a man who was found stabbed to death in an alley on Billings South Side earlier this month. Violet Janae Littlelight is facing felony charges of deliberate homicide and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence in the death of Keith Troy Breckenridge, a former hardened firefighter. Littlelight was arrested after Breckenridge's phone pinged on the Crow Reservation, and his pickup was found at a residence there. Littlelight stated she had known the victim her entire life and would occasionally change sexual favors or money for alcohol with him. According to court records, Littlelight brought 2 unidentified acquaintances with her who she says she knew planned to rob Breckenridge, but she stated she did not know why they stabbed him. The crime remains under investigation. Tuesday marked a late night for Billings City Council with a lot on the agenda, including changes to how much you could be paying for sewer and water. Those rate increases would go into effect in 2026 if approved. Our David J. has more from last night's meeting.
Okay, again, the motion is for approval of the recommended rates with the exception of the wastewater rates.
The City Council decided not to increase residential water rates for the upcoming year.
You'll see the multifamily too was set at 0% for both years, and non-residential needed the increase in the first year, but not the second year as well.
In March, the City Council stated it did not want to increase rates for the next fiscal year, but will make increases next year.
What's driving the rate increases for water and wastewater is really inflationary increases, as well as trying to increase our pipe replacement spending.
The proposal calls for no increase, mainly to residential and multifamily rates. There would be no increase for the fiscal year starting on July 1st. The rates would increase 2% the following year. PAR Montana's attorney raised some concerns.
PAR respectfully requests the City Council table all wastewater rate decisions, including for retail customers, until all wastewater rates can be set. Retail and wholesale rates are tied together.
And the lawyer for Phillips 66 also raised some issues.
We're here tonight with a very narrow request, and that is we are asking the commission to defer any decision on retail and wholesale wastewater rates until a later date.
I think we owe it to our community to be good partners with you as huge economic drivers in our community, but you owe it to our community to be a good partner back and pay your fair share in the rates. And there is probably somewhere in the middle here. So I'm willing to let the staff try to work that out.
And some talked about other parts of the proposal.
And I think that before we ask anybody to have an increase in the residential rates for the water or the wastewater, I think we ought to make sure that the billing process, the new software that the City of Billings Public Works has actually implemented last June or July, is working correctly.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Also on the City Council agenda Tuesday night, City Administrator Chris Kukulski's employment agreement addendum. The City Council ultimately approved a 3% annual cost of living increase, voting 6-5. Back in November, City Council held off on approving a raise, choosing to wait until an audit of the city's utility billing system was complete. At that time, many residents had questions about their water bills, which prompted that audit, which later found no major discrepancies. Kukulski was paid $212,000 a year. Now his base pay will increase to about $218,000 annually.
If they were to approve the 3%, I mean, it increases the cost to the city by about $6,500 for next year.
Chris has been very straightforward in acknowledging that he is ultimately responsible for the problems in the billing software.
That said, Mayor Cole says Kukulski has served Billings well, and the city administrator is making less than his counterparts in cities with a much smaller population, such as Bozeman and Casper, Wyoming. This morning, we have an incredible story of survival. A former Billings doctor is trampled by her own bison and lives to tell about it. The retired doctor was nearly killed by her own herd while walking her dog on her ranch. But what happened next is a powerful story of survival, strength, and a trauma team she once called colleagues. Our Matt Carmack has the story.
Chris Spangen has 1,600 acres of beautiful land.
I just like trekking around out here too.
Her ranch west of Billings is the perfect place for her fast-paced life. Chris loves to fish, hunt, and raise animals.
That's right. I'm a fly angler and a bird hunter, and also do a little big game hunting.
But it was here on her ranch on a snowy Sunday morning in January when her life was literally flipped upside down.
It happened so fast. I'm not sure how it all started, but I ended up on the ground, face down, and looked for my phone.
On that fateful day, Chris was on her daily walk with her 3 English setters. Her eldest dog stepped into bison territory and the animal attacked.
At that point, I just laid there and I knew I better just not move at all. And just thinking, what do you do if a grizzly bear attacks you? You play dead. So I figured I better just play dead.
After the attack, Chris tried to crawl away, but was attacked yet again by 2 bison. She was left with broken ribs, broken vertebrae, a split lip, a gash on her leg, and a dislocated shoulder. Chris was transported here to the Intermountain Health Emergency Department, where she encountered quite a few familiar faces.
And I remember Barry going, "Hey, Chris, it's Barry."
Chris was rushed into surgery, operated on by her former colleague, Dr. Barry McKenzie.
I have to admit, yeah, there was definitely a little bit more pressure to be able to go with that, and she added her comments too.
And believe it or not, Dr. Spangen even shared her own opinions about how to perform the surgery before being given anesthesia. Regardless, it worked.
It's very important to feel comfortable with your caregivers, which I did.
Chris credits collaboration from the team at St. Vincent's with her recovery. Because of the severity of her injuries, getting back to full health is easier said than done.
It takes longer than you think.
But Dr. Spangen is just happy to be alive, back on the road to recovery.
That's why we do what we do, to try to get you back to your life after probably one of the worst things, if not the worst thing that is probably going to happen to you.
In Yellowstone County, Matt Carmack, MTU News.